Rising to your astrology for the month of October 2024. I'm your Cosmic Girl 101. I'm a Hellenistic Western tropical astrologer, for full disclosure. And if you're a return viewer, thank you for your ongoing support. If you're new to this channel, welcome to you. I trust you get some valuable information astrologically here at Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel. You are a Mars-Pluto rising sign. They're the two planets that rule your first house. If you're a Scorpio rising, lucky you, two planets that govern the self, your image, your body, how people see you, your psychology. You're very martial and very Plutonian. You are also a yin water fixed rising sign. There's a lot to unpack. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. That's all connected to your rising sign, involving the transits, the luminaries, and many other astrological events this month. Neptune and Saturn are still retrograding in Pisces, your fifth house. Saturn will go direct next month on November 15, and then Neptune will go direct on December 7. Uranus continues its retrograde in the sign of Taurus, your seventh house, and then goes direct on January 30 of 2025. So the big news for the slower planetary transits this month, on the 9th of October, Jupiter is going into a retrograde in the zodiac sign of Gemini, your eighth house of shared resources and finances. It won't go direct until February 4 of 2025. And the next big news we have on the 11th of October, Pluto stationed to go direct in the sign of Capricorn, and this is your third house. So yes, we have some changes going on with the slower planetary transits. Expect some more shifts. The sun is transiting in its full zodiac sign of Libra, opening up the month of October until the 22nd of the month. The sun in Libra is transiting in your 12th house, that very private part of your natal chart that isn't privileged for other people to be invited into unless you want them to. As a Scorpio rising, I would say confidently you'd be very ginger and who you let into your weird little worlds, especially that 12th house. So we have that sun transiting in the fall sign of Libra. So the sun in fall, this is like exhausting for the sun, quite simply because the sun is dying down in the sign of Libra when it transits from Aries, the spring zodiac sign, to Libra, which is the fall zodiac sign. So the sun dying down in light, there's a reduction in activity, and this is your 12th house of things behind the scenes. So you could be feeling a little bit more sedate, taking some time out, reevaluating, readjusting, recalibrating, all topics of the 12th house, hospitals, institutions, psychology, spiritual practices, trips away, getting in touch with your spiritual esoteric side of your life. These topics are all connected to the 12th house, and hidden enemies, self-undoing, self-sabotage. It's the place where we go and do naughty things that we really enjoy, but eventually they become a little bit outdated and end up becoming a bit of a rod for our backs in the 12th house of Libra. And Libra, the zodiac sign itself, can be very good at overcompensating, drowning out in other people. So with the sun in fall here in Libra in your 12th house, you may start to see the forest for the trees and what's working and what's not in regards to giving out way too much more than you can handle. So I would suggest that this transit will be helpful for you in illuminating, where you need to establish more hard lines and boundaries for yourself and other people. On the 13th, the sun is going to try and retrograde Jupiter in Gemini, which only went retrograde on the 9th. This is your 8th house of shared resources and your financial house. The sun trining Jupiter, you have the sun in fall and you have Jupiter in its detriment sign of Gemini. So this could be like a bittersweet conversation or a financial matter that needs to be addressed. It could be potentially for you as a Scorpio rising, A reduction in financial support or feeling that you're losing yourself in other people's resources is a possibility on the 13th. So if that is something you're experiencing, have some frank conversations, draw some hard lines in the sand. We can't have it all. And if your partner is going through a reduction or a loss of some kind, be it a contract or monetary support, you may feel drowned out by support and supporting your partner, be it intimate or professional, financially, and it could be draining on you quite emotionally as well. On the 14th, the Sun then squares off with Mars in Cancer. It's full zodiac sign, your ninth house, and Mars is your planetary ruler. So when the Sun is squaring your planet in the ninth house of long distance travel, international and foreign connections and expansion, education, anything to do with legal contracts, any legalities, spiritual and philosophical aspects of your life. You could be going through a checking in moment on the 14th and feeling a little bit at odds with what you believe. And also to do with media and publishing and higher education. So the Sun is squaring off with your ruling planet. And so that Sun could just make you feel like you need to step out of the light or take a break, go on a trip, even though it may be difficult for you to feel on high, if you will. It might be necessary to get you out of a funk on the 14th, even though it's a square. It's like breaking through the melancholy on the 14th of October, connected to the ninth house topics. The 22nd, the Sun then ingresses into Scorpio, your first house, until November 21st. So the Sun's shining a light on you. So what's lighting up here is yourself, your body, your image, who you are. You might be having your moment in the spotlight, if you will, when the Sun is transiting in your first house. But you're certainly aware of your vitality levels, how you feel. Like, how are you feeling, Scorpio rising? Do you feel good in your body? Are you emitting radiance and life force and love, or are you feeling a little bit meh? This is something you could be experiencing because Scorpio ruling your first house, being that fixed water yin sign, I mean, you run deep. You're more than what people see on the surface, and that can sometimes give people the wrong idea about your personality. So when the Sun's coming through here from the 22nd of October, till November 21st, you can reveal some truths or some a different side of yourself than people may not have been aware of, and feel more confident in expressing your authentic self about how you really feel and how you want to be seen. And psychology will be a big thing for you with this transit because the Sun is lighting up, your thought patterns, how you think, how you break down information and communicate your concepts, your ideologies about life. You might be really tapping into parts of your psychology that could be giving people the wrong idea about you. So self-expression and authentic conversations is important when that Sun is transiting in your first house. So all in all, not a bad transit. I just think that some people may see a different side of you that you've been concealing or keeping on the down low. It might be hard to put a lid on it. If you've got something to herald or trumpet to the world, this is a transit where it will happen straight from the heart, shooting straight from the hip. That can sometimes come off a little bit wow. On the 2nd of October, we have our second eclipse. This is a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra, your 12th house. Things going on behind closed doors are starting to take shape and form. Something is discovered, something ends, so something can begin. In the sign of Libra, no less, which is a cardinal air yang zodiac sign, ruled by the planet Venus. For you, I think, Scorpio rising, this is identifying spreading yourself too thin, especially with relationships and financial matters. You may be cutting out resources that drain you, or you may be establishing new sources of money that support you, but it's not anything that's going to be public. So I think you may be adjusting your finances and your relationships behind closed doors on the 2nd of October, but it has that eclipse sensation about it. It's very mystical, it's very ethereal. So whatever you're changing, ending, beginning on this day, it's going to take shape and form and adjust over a 6-month period. So patience may be necessary, but I can only give you astrological advice as a Scorpio rising. Try not to spread yourself too thin when it comes to relationships and finances. On the 17th of October, there's a full moon in Aries, and this is your 6th house of the day-to-day. It's your health. It's the house of sickness and illness. It's the house of pets. It's the house of services, co-workers, working, services that you provide to other people or services that you utilize. This is the 6th house. It's where we roll our sleeves up and get dirty, and we put a lot of energy into other people. So that full moon in Aries for you on the 17th is going to really show you, if you will, how those changes and adaptations on the 2nd of October are tracking. Are things working out for you, or do you need to change something up? And it is a full moon in Aries, and it's ruled by the planet Mars, which is your planetary ruler. So if you have something near and dear to your heart that you want to express, the astrological advice is to do it with tact. Do it strategically. Have street smarts, come off intelligent instead of hot-headed and out of control. You want to be centered. If you have something that is near and dear to your heart that you want to express. So this is the checking in point to recalibrate, readjust, and get things settled. But do it as calm as you can, because Mars is your planetary ruler. It rules your 1st house. So you want to come off looking gold and certainly have boss vibes, but with tact. Venus, the planet of attraction, is transiting in your 1st house, opening up the month until the 17th. So you've got a 2-week window to really enjoy the body, express what you love from your heart, have some deep moments with your intimate partners, understand what makes you feel good on the day-to-day. Venus in the 1st will certainly give you a sense of more attraction. You're more attractive to others. People are magnetically drawn to you, and so is finance. Venus, unfortunately, is in detriment in the sign of your zodiac sign, Scorpio. Venus in detriment, quite simply, Venus is in a zodiac sign that is contrary to its character because it's ruled by the planet Mars. So Venus is in Mars house, your 1st house, and that takes a little bit of savvy navigating for Venus to understand, how do I get through these passionate, martial, abrupt, cranky dynamics that are going on with me, my body, my image, how people see me. I want to look and feel beautiful. I want to come off as compassionate and loving. And if you've been feeling distant from relationships or even resources have been spread thin, Venus here will start balancing things out for you. So not a bad thing at all. Scorpio rising and Venus is in your 1st house. On the 8th, Venus trines your ruling planet Mars in the 9th house. Fabulous day for planning a trip with a partner, starting a new educational path, go to university, step into a new cooking class, learn about a different culture, learn about different spiritual paths and practices, really get into esotericism. This is something you may be enjoying on the 8th of October. On the 14th, Venus then opposes retrograde Uranus in Taurus, your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, be it intimate or business. It's the house of endings and pleasure. So Venus, situated in your 1st house, is opposed to retrograde Uranus in your 7th house. So astrologically, we've got Venus coming up against Uranus retrograde. So Venus is opposed to Uranus not changing or not taking any action. So you could be frustrated with a partner, waiting on a contract, waiting on news about a trip where you go out and have fun. You could be, just feels like there's a frustrating day. There could be a financial aspect to this, or relationships are difficult to deal with on the 14th of October. Yes, we have those days, Scorpio rising. Welcome to planet Earth. Then on the 17th, Venus ingresses into Sagittarius, your second house of finance, until November 11. Venus in the second house is your assets, your possessions, your money, things that support you, give you a sense of stability. This is now Venus transiting here for you. And Venus is the great attractor. So you're attracted to money, you're attracted to wealth, you're attracted to buying new possessions, you're attracted to traveling, you're attracted to expand yourself and learn new things. So for you, Scorpio rising, I wonder if you're going on a pilgrimage, or you're learning about a different culture or a spiritual practice when Venus is transiting here in that second house of Sagittarius until November 11 from the 17th of October. Lovely transit indeed. If you're ready to put in the hard yards and open yourself up through media and publishing avenues regarding like the internet or writing projects or speaking projects, this could be an auspicious transit for you to get yourself out there and bring in the money from different sources, people, places, and faces than you may have considered before. Not bad at all. Our personal planet Mercury. Now, this planet in of itself is all about intellectual stimulation. It likes to travel, it likes to communicate and be social, as does Venus. And Mercury can have that sleight of hand character about it as well, that, misdirection. Mercury can be a little bit tricky, but Mercury is always trying to move, connect, and expand. It's very cerebral. For you as a Scorpio rising, opening up the month, Mercury continues its transit in Libra, your 12th house, until the 13th of October. So only the first couple of weeks, Mercury will be in that 12th house, lighting up the zodiac sign of Libra and all Libran topics. Fairness, equality, balance, adjustments, anything to do with legality as well as possible, financial exchanges, trying to get a good deal, or trying to, pay for a trip, for example. 12th house, things behind the scenes, going on pilgrimages, examples. This sort of thing is what you could be dealing with Mercury in that 12th house. A lot of action and movement, but a lot of mental activity going on as well. Lots of communication. There could be moments where you need to take a mental break, like I need to take a day off work because my brain's on fire. That's something you could be experiencing also when Mercury's in that 12th house. On the 6th of October, Mercury squares off with your ruling planet in the 9th house. So this is what you've got here is a communication snag. You're going to have a snafu. Something could be abruptly changed with travel plans, media plans, teaching plans. This could be where someone drops out of a commitment connected to anything official like legalities, for example. It could be a tricky day to navigate on the 6th of October. On the 8th, Mercury trines Jupiter in its detriment sign of Gemini, your 8th house of shared resources and finances. Great day to do transactions, financial transactions, or have contracts, already important conversations on this day that are going to improve your financial space. Not a bad day at all to be had on the 8th of October. Then on the 13th, Mercury ingresses into your first house until November 2nd. Mercury in the first will see you moving and shaking. You're on the move, literally. You've got a lot of activity going on now, so you could be seen as traveling, short distance traveling a lot, long distance traveling. You could be talking a lot. You could be communicating a lot. You could be learning a lot. You could be just someone that people sort of magnetize to for information or communication. So expect an uptick in activity, especially with the body and your mental space. You could be really quite heightened when it comes to your intellect with Mercury in your first house as a Scorpio rising. On the 30th, Mercury opposes retrograde Uranus in your seventh house. So Mercury is opposed to no change, no movement. So changes of plans with contracts, agreements, travel plans, partners, relationships, be it business or otherwise. Mercury is opposed to Uranus, not creating any movement, liberation, or freedom. So a difficult day to navigate on the 30th of October. On October 31st, which is Halloween, happy Halloween if you celebrate it, Mercury then trines retrograde Neptune in Pisces, your fifth house of joy and pleasure. Beautiful. This is taking a pleasure trip, taking time out with a partner, having fun with your children if you have any at all, discussing the subjects of children, investments, gambling. It's a house of sports and athletics. It's a house of romance and dating. It's a house where we get our adrenaline pumping. And Mercury in your first house, you, yourself, your body, how people see you, is trining retrograde Neptune in Pisces, the house of joy and pleasure. I only imagine for you as a Scorpio rising, this day is going to be delicious. Enjoy it. Mars, your planetary ruler, opening up the month of October, continues its transit in Cancer, your ninth house, and it won't ingress into Leo until the 3rd of November. So Mars in the ninth, yes, there's a lot of action going on with the ninth house topics: international travel, foreign connections, different cultures, spiritual practices, religion, social contracts, media publishing, higher education, uh, uh, spiritual and philosophical aspects of your life. With Mars transiting here, your ruling planet, this is what you're interested in, and this is where a lot of action is going on. Even though Mars is in 4 and it does rule your first house, you personally could be going through, Scorpio rising, some really deep, profound changes that are personal or could be emotional at times with Mars in that ninth house connected to those topics. So you may feel deeply emotional about expanding yourself or connecting through physical travel or intellectual pursuits. You may just feel passionately drawn to take up different people, places, and faces, but just enjoy yourself. But in some way, shape, or form, it creates a sense of emotional fulfillment that's stirring you in many different ways or profoundly bringing up deep emotions that you may have not even realized were there, connected to those ninth house topics. So when a planet is in fall or detriment, my astrological advice anyway, is to get creative with that planet, learn how to do things different. So Mars, we wanted to develop different strategies, skills, and street smarts in expanding ourselves with the ninth house topics and opening up through learning or travel. So in all, it's not a bad or difficult transit. Just maybe emotionally stirring things deep within you that you may have not known was even around. On the 24th, Mars is sextiling Uranus retrograde in Taurus, your seventh. So you now have your ruling planets sextiling retrograde Uranus. Mercury and Venus opposed Uranus in the seventh, but your ruling planet is now sextiling. So what this is now things are starting to move more, open up more. Things are settled with the seventh house topics of pleasure, rest, enjoyment, partnerships, relationships, agreements, and contracts now start to land, and things become a little bit more organic and easier to navigate. So not a bad day at all on the 24th of October. On the 28th, your ruling planet then trines retrograde Neptune in Pisces, your fifth house. Wonderful. Taking a trip, enjoying dating, enjoying taking a risk, having an investment return, just enjoying moving more because it's the house of joy and pleasure. So I just feel that this day is going to be particularly magical for you as a Scorpio rising on the 28th of October. Then on the 31st, which is Halloween again, the moon is waning in Scorpio in its full zodiac sign, your first house, but it's trining your ruling planet Mars in Cancer, your ninth house. This is wonderful for you just doing you being your authentic self, loving life, being very visual, you're more attractive. You could be drawn into different people, places, and faces that really open you up. You're just having deep, profound experiences on the 31st, which is Halloween. So if you're into spiritual or esoteric practices, this is the day to really go deep. It's wonderful for that. But this is just a really delicious day to be had. Yes, astrologically, the moon is in full in your first house. Yes, Mars is in full in Cancer. But I can't help but get this intuitive feeling that you are in for a wonderful day on the 31st of October. So enjoy that, Scorpio Rising. Stay cosmic, Scorpio Rising. That is your astrology outlook from my perspective, your Cosmic Girl 101. Ways to support your Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel. Book a reading with your Cosmic Girl. I provided the email at the beginning of the video and in the description box below. You can like the video, share and comment on the video, subscribe if you haven't done already. You can hit the bell notification to get the latest postings and the videos that I put up about astrology. You can also scan this QR code and send through a donation at your free will. That would be greatly appreciated. And these little nuances really do help the channel grow and expand and reach other astrology enthusiasts such as yourselves. Have a fabulous month, guys. I'll catch you next time.